This is a video response to psychtruth. He made a video about atheism, or at least I guess that's what it was about. There was a little bit in there about mysticism and other things. I don't want to cover everything, although there are a few things I'm really tempted to criticize, but I won't. I'd basically like to stick with the mysticism stuff and the stuff about atheism in particular. He says that all atheism is a disbelief in God. And for the most part, I wouldn't have a problem with that. There are some people who would object very strongly. No, it's simply a lack of belief in a God, but I don't draw that strong of a distinction. I don't think it makes that much of a difference in how one leads his or her life and so on. So I'm not going to nitpick there. Also, somebody might say a God or gods might make a point of that, but by definition, if you disbelieve in multiple gods, you disbelieve in one particular God. So I'm not going to object strongly to that either. Then he says, well, if that's the case, then all theism is a belief in a God. Well, yeah. Yes, that's basically what theism is. Yes, sir. And you say that, or he says that as though atheists would object strongly to that, but again, except possibly on the God or God's point, I don't think many atheists would object to that, so I don't see what your point is there, but okay. Here's a really big problem, though. The essence of the idea of God is that it's a creator. Okay, let's examine this a little bit. Is Yahweh a creator? Yes, Yahweh is a creator, so your definition is holding there. Let's see here. Is Shiva a creator? Uh-oh. Shiva is a destroyer. Damn it. Well, some Hindus will... Hinduism is a wide spectrum, a patchwork of different sects, but some Hindus will ascribe the powers of Shiva to like a greater entity, and part of that greater entity would be creation. I guess that's Vishnu, but I'm not very well versed on Hinduism, so I should probably just shut up there. But so possibly we could say that Shiva is at least part of the essence of a creator. So okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. But here we go. Thor. Is Thor a creator? Now there you've got a problem. Are you going to say Thor is not a god based on the fact that he's not a creator? Or Athena is not a goddess? Or Poseidon is not a god? Ultimately, what I think the definition of a god is a kind of supernatural intelligence or supernatural consciousness that has the ability to intervene in human affairs, whether they're affairs of the here and now or of the hereafter, if a given religion has a belief in a hereafter. But gods are ultimately hugely dependent on the idea of human consciousness as concepts. And he says that Freemasons define God as an architect, which is true, I think, but they're obviously operating on a Christian concept of a God. I don't think I don't think the general idea of God is that it's a creator. And also he says that he says something about something creating the universe, and that being an argument for theism. However, I think some atheists might take the stand or have a general idea that something created the universe. If it's not a conscious entity, though, then it's not a god, period. And regarding origins in general, he makes a pretty straw man of atheism. Atheism only has to do with the concept of God. Only basically a negation the prefix. Theos, God, and then ism referring to a position that one takes on an issue. Atheism simply has to do with the idea of God, nothing about the origin of the universe or anything like that. So just give that one up. A lot of atheists don't know what the heck happened either. Oh, but that really means you're actually an agnostic. Well, yes and no. I'm an agnostic. I don't know for sure what the origin of the universe is. I don't know for sure that there's a God. However, I don't believe in a God. I don't actively believe in a God, and I have a tendency to disbelieve in a God, especially when somebody makes specific claims about a God. Honestly, I think the concept of a supernatural consciousness is derived from, well, is an analogy to human consciousness. We don't have all the answers, and so we use our own consciousness as an analogy to try and explain the things that we can't explain. It doesn't go too far to explain the things we can't explain, because we don't have much of an explanation for human consciousness either, but we at least accept it as a given. So that's where I feel the origin of the concept of gods came from. But who knows, maybe there really is a God. I'm sure I'm skipping over something I wanted to say, but oh well. I said I'd be leaving things out, so okay. The last part about mysticism, what we actually experience does have a strong effect on our beliefs about the world. And if somebody has a mystical experience, I don't necessarily blame them for believing there's something supernatural out there. Nor do I agree with your statement that it's either I don't remember your exact words, either delusional or real. I think it is real. I think the mental states are real. I think our consciousness is intricately tied to our physical brains, and there's a lot more pliability there than a lot of people recognize. I think Sam Harris, also an atheist, covers this issue a lot, and he's strongly into meditation and means of altering human consciousness. But I still wouldn't hold that as evidence of the supernatural, especially based on what we know about the brain, what you can do to people by prodding their brains with electrodes. But I guess that's about all I have to say, though. My biggest point here is that I'm sure you've gotten it 20,000 times in the comments on your video, but you can be an atheist and an agnostic at the same time, because one is an issue of knowledge and one is an issue of belief. I don't even know if the sun's going to rise tomorrow. I don't know for sure, but I believe it. I sure as heck believe it. I haven't set up any contingency plans around whether the sun might not rise tomorrow. That possibility is not open in my mind as far as belief is concerned. As far as knowledge, well, I could be wrong. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it. What's his name? Having a brain fart here, but oh, Tom Likas. He does an Ask the Atheist thing on his radio show, and when people ask him, well, where did the universe come from? What caused the Big Bang? And various other such questions, even questions regarding the origin of life, Tom Likas actually just goes out and says, I don't know. But not knowing is not evidence that there's a God, and lacking positive evidence for a God, it seems reasonable to me, as well as apparently to Tom Likas, to suspend belief in a God. Thank you.